students, welcome to today's class. Today we are discussing the rest of the chapter. War with the Kalinga. After the Kalinga war, Ashoka gave up war because he written in his inscriptions many reasons why he gave up war, and he have tried to solve some of the problems in between the people in his empire. Some are believes in other religion and some are in different religion. So he tried to spread his message to the people, and he also tried to send the persons to spread his messages in Syria, Sri Lanka, Egypt and Greece, etc. Ashoka's messages were important. He said the people to respecting elders and treating all creatures with compassion, and like that messages he tried to spread to the people, those who are living in the empire. Those things we are discussing in today's class.
Ashoka's war in Kalinga. Ashoka fought a war to conquer Kalinga, ancient name of coastal Odisha. He gave up his conquest after winning the war, as he was horrified when he saw the violence and the bloodshed. He is the only king in the history of the world to have done so. He also decided not to fight any more wars. Ashoka's inscription describing the Kalinga war. This is what Ashoka declared in one of his inscriptions. 8 years after becoming king, I conquered Kalinga. About 1.5 lakh people were captured, and more than 1 lakh of people were killed. This filled me with sorrow. Why? Whenever an independent land is conquered, lakhs of people die, and many are taken prisoners. Brahmins and monks also die. People who are kind to their relatives and friends, to their slaves and servants die, or lose their loved ones. That is why I am sad, and have decided to observe Dhamma and to teach about it to others as well. I believe that winning people over through Dhamma is much better than conquering them through force. I am inscribing this message for the future so that my son and grandson after me should not think about war. Instead, they should try to think about how to spread Dhamma. What was Ashoka's Dhamma? Ashoka was inspired by the teachings of Buddha. He also felt it was his duty to instruct his subjects, just as a father tries to teach his children. His Dhamma did not include worship of a god or performance of a sacrifice. There were a number of problems which he tried to solve. Ashoka's message to his subjects. Ashoka said that people perform rituals when they fall ill, when their children get married, when children are born, or when they go for a journey. He regarded these practices as not fruitful. He said that instead people should be gentle with slaves and servants, respect one's elders, treat all creatures with compassion, and give gifts to Brahmins and monks. He considered it wrong to praise one's own religion or criticize another's. By doing this, he is doing a greater harm to his own religion. One should try to understand the ideas of another's religion and respect it. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, wrote that Ashoka's edicts still speak to us in a language we can understand, and we can still learn from them. Elsewhere, before the time of the Mauryan Empire, about 2400 years ago, emperors in China began building the Great Wall. It was meant to protect the northern frontier of the empire from the pastoral people. Additions to the wall were made over a period of 2000 years ago. This wall is about 6,400 km long and is made of stone and brick, with a road along the top. There are watchtowers every 100 to 200 meters. Several thousand people worked to build this wall.
The Mauryan Empire collapsed about 2200 years ago. There were several kingdoms emerged in its place. One of the well-known kingdom was Shakas. Gupta kings and Kushans also were ruled this territory. In the north and in the parts of central India, Pushyamitra Shunga set up a kingdom. Shungas were followed by another dynasty known as the Kanvas. The Shakas fought several battles with the Shatavahanas. The Shatavahana kingdom lasted for about 400 years. After them, a new ruling family known as the Vagatagas became powerful. In South India, the Cholas, Cheras, and Pandyas ruled between 2200 and 1800 years ago. About 1500 years ago, there were two large kingdoms, Pallavas and the Chalukyas became more powerful. There were several other kingdoms and kings as well. We know about them from their coins, inscriptions, and books. There were other changes in the field of agriculture and the growth of new towns, craft production, and trade happened. Today's explored land routes within the subcontinent and outside. Many new buildings were built, including temples and stupas. Books were written and scientific discoveries were made. These developments took place simultaneously.
The Mauryan Empire reached its height during King Ashoka's reign. Ashoka, the greatest and most famous of all Mauryan emperors, was the son of Bindusara and the grandson of Chandragupta Maurya. Before becoming a king, he expanded the Mauryan Empire by engaging in numerous wars and battles. 8 years after becoming an emperor, Ashoka set his eyes on Kalinga, the modern-day coastal Orissa. Soon a bloody war was fought to conquer Kalinga. By the time the war ended, more than 1 lakh people had perished, and about 1.5 lakh people were taken prisoners. Despite his success, he was devastated by the violence and brutality of war. After seeing the destruction, he converted to Buddhism and started teaching Buddhist values like respect for each other and tolerance to his people. However, as a practical ruler, he did not allow slavery and death penalty for heinous crimes. He appointed several officers as Dhamma Mahamattas who travelled places preaching Dhamma. To build an empire whose people are united in their knowledge of Dhamma and its values, he put up edicts throughout his empire. These edicts urged the citizens to act morally and to take responsibility for their actions. To spread the message, edicts and inscriptions were scattered all over the empire. Walls, rocks, pillars, and caves with messages were located at places where a lot of people were expected to come. Ashoka then appointed officers to read the message to the people and thus help Buddhism reach new heights. He sent his messengers, including son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra, to other lands such as Syria, Egypt, Greece, and Sri Lanka to preach Dhamma. Ashoka ruled for almost 40 years. After the Kalinga War, the land never saw any war. 50 years after his death, the Mauryan Empire came to an end. Ashoka passed away about 2000 years ago, but he left behind his empire of truthfulness, dharma, non-violence, compassion, and love of subjects.
In today's class, we have discussed about the Ashoka, the great ruler, and the capital cities and the importance of the capital cities and which are the main capital cities, and war with Kalinga and what is the reason for withdrawing from the war, and Dhamma, it was inspired by the teachings of Buddha. Those things we have discussed in this chapter, and read the textbook carefully and note down the important points or underline the important points in the textbook and write down the question answers in your notebook.